I had done. I mean, this thing. I'd never done any training or anything like that. No acting training or singing training. But I was involved in the school choir, and I was involved with the concert band, and I was involved with a lot of extracurricular stuff at school. And then this is the greatest thing though. Um, I went to an all boys school. Okay, an all boys Catholic school. And my only the only kids I knew were like boys school, like boys in my sports and whatever. But then when we did our musical productions for the year, we would team up with the local girls' school, and this was awesome. My mind was blown because suddenly we get to talk to girls from Santa Sabina, and it was just like, wow! I think I had so many crushes that year. It was like crazy. But that was a way for me to meet girls, but also I just wanted to perform. And there you go. I sang and became Oliver in the school production of Oliver. And from that point on, I was hooked, absolutely hooked.
What was it like auditioning the first time?
To be honest, I can't even remember how it was. I think I think we all had to audition. All the choir had to sing because they were looking for someone who played Oliver, and I think I realized that maybe I got a chance at this when they kept them keeping me back and making me sing more. And it was exciting. And it was that kind of thing where I thought I think I can be good at this. And I wasn't really good at very many things before. As a goalkeeper for our soccer team, the second game we ever played, we lost 19-0. So I wasn't a good goalkeeper. Basketballer, I was a short kid, so I never scored any goals unless I threw them from the halfway line. I scored a couple of three-pointers that way. That's the only way I could score. So to find something that I thought, hey, I could be good at this, I was hooked. And from that point on, it was a win-win situation. Like, get to hang out with girls, get to sing songs, get to show off a little bit, and I loved it. And I wasn't stuttering anymore, so I just fell in love with being on stage and performing.
But the first time you went out on that stage with an audience, what was that like?
I'll tell you something. This is really funny because I thought the first show I ever did, I thought I nailed it. Right? I thought I was like, yeah, oh my god, it was so great. And my stepmother, who came and saw that show, she's a sweetheart, right? But she's also quite honest. And I said, hey, Tita, how did you enjoy that the show? And she says, yes, Miggy, you were a little bit wooden, but you sang well. So I'm like, ouch. There you go. But you know what? I really appreciated her honesty and her critique, as devastating as it was at the time. Made me really think, what am I doing wrong? And the next time I did the show, I think I improved exponentially because I started to realize, oh yeah, I like a deer in headlights, I guess. So, critics do have their place in this world.
Especially
you gotta
family.
listen, especially family. There you go.
But you went to college for communications.
Yes.
Why not pursue acting and music right away?
Well, to be honest, I actually did want to continue being. I wanted to be a rock star. I wasn't sure about acting or anything, but I wanted to. I was in a band in high school, a couple of bands. I wanted to pursue that. I had a band we were at one stage. The incarnation of this band started off as Randy Badass and the Slickmaster 5.
Yeah,
I was Randy. Badass.
Wow.
And we evolved into a band called Lovetown, and we were writing some pretty mature stuff for 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, and it was kind of like a cross between funk, soul, and hip hop. It was but it was really quite sophisticated, I think, for the time. And we had some interest from Warner Music. We had some interest from another thing, but nothing came of that. But my mom was like, Miggy, you need to have a degree. You need something to fall back on. And so that was it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew that medicine was – I was going to take too much of focus from my rock star career. So I needed to do something that was a little less demanding. And I always was interested in film and writing. So I did a communications course, and I majored in film editing, film production, and in particular editing. So I did that at Macquarie University. But which, was pleasing to my parents to a point, but then came a time when I was looking for work. I was working at in the weekends at the local cinema at the candy bar store, making popcorn and selling ice cream for $6 an hour or something like that. When a friend of mine, who over the weekend came back to me in the end and said, "Oh yeah, I made $3,000 from doing a Coke commercial." I'm like, right, okay, I'm in the wrong business. I'm leaving the candy bar, and I'm going to get myself an agent and try and audition for shows. Or audition for TV commercials more than anything. I was just really, to be honest, I was in it for the money, literally. But a year of screen testing and auditions, I didn't get a single job, and I was just about to quit when suddenly my agent said, "Look, they're going for this TV series. You should go for it." And it was a pilot for a TV series called Mission Top Secret, where I played this. It was like a teenage James Bond espionage kind of thing, and MI6 made of teenagers, and we're solving riddles. And I played this Spanish backpacker in Australia who suddenly stumbled upon all this secret stuff, which I got involved in, spies, and it was cool. In fact, the cool part about it was that at 18 years of age, I was flown to Europe. We were filming in Spain. We were filming in Amsterdam. We were filming in the UK. Jet skiing through the Amsterdam canals, being chased by bad guys. I thought, oh man, this is cool. Acting's easy. My next gig's gonna be fine. Well, anyway, when I arrived back from the airport, my agent says, "MiG, before you go home, can you pass by Her Majesty's Theatre? They're looking for someone to play Richie Valens in a new musical about Buddy Holly called The Buddy Holly Story. Could you go in for that?" And I'm like, "Well, can you sing La Bamba?" I said, "Well, yeah, I actually can, because we used to sing it in our band in Lovetown." And so I went, all right. I went past my dad drove me past the Her Majesty's Theatre, went in and sang La Bamba, and next thing you know, I get the gig. So 2 auditions in a row, I get bam. Wow. And this gig, though, was crazy. It got me not only my first theatrical professional debut, but the producers of the show, the English producers, were in the show on opening night in Sydney. And after the show, they came up to me and said, "MiG, how would you think about coming over to joining the London cast?" And at this stage, I was 20 years old. I'm like, yeah, okay. So 6 months later, I fly to London, and I have my West End debut. And I'm 21 years old and living in this 3-story terrace in the center of London. And I thought, this is awesome. I thought, this is a great way to make a living. So my studies, it's a long answer, but I'll get to the point, is that my studies, even though I did really attempt to finish my degree, the acting kind of just took off out of nowhere, and I was getting job after job. After that, I did Grease, and I played Danny Zuko in Grease, and did West Side Story. So I kept on deferring my studies to the point where this became ridiculous. So I said, okay, I'm just going to try this for a while, and I'll go back to my studies when I'm older. I had 10 years to finish my degree at this stage, so I thought, yeah, I'll get back to it, no problem. Well, I didn't get back to it, but hey,
it kind of worked out.
Life. Yeah, it was all right.
Just backpedaling to one of the shows, you said you performed for some royalty in England. Is that correct? For the Buddy Holly show?
Yeah, well, yes. I was really lucky. It was lucky. I was lucky because it was the timing. It was all the fact that I arrived in London and was in Buddy, in the cast there. At the same time, the Royal Variety decided to do their performance at our theatre. So at the Victoria Palace Theatre, they decided to do the Royal Variety. So I got a chance to perform in front of the Queen, Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, and Prince Philip. Wow. But that's just one of the small things. I mean, being there at that time was a really exciting time to be in London. We also were told one day, oh, Princess Diana and the 2 princes are coming in to see the show today. You can't look at them. You just do a normal show. We're not meeting them afterwards, but you just have to perform your show normally. And sure enough, when the curtain opened, you saw this beautiful blonde bob and red turtleneck sweater, and these two little heads hanging up from the dress circle. One was William and one was Harry, when he was still a royal.
Wow.
And then 2 weeks later, we were told, look, Prince William has decided he wants to come and see the show again. But he's coming by himself. So William came a second time with all his Secret Service minders around him, which I thought, that's cool. I thought that would be nice to be a royal. When he decided, I want to see a West End show by myself. I didn't even know how old he was at the time, but he was a child. It was very cool.
Would be fitting because you're the man of MiG Street. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Well, speaking of the MiG, now your birth name is not MiG. It is?
No. It is Miguel. It is Miguel. I was born Miguel Alfonso Ramon Ayesa, which is, it shows my Spanish nature. But all my friends in Australia there weren't many Miguels. Okay, growing up in the 70s and 80s in Sydney, there wasn't really many Miguels. So they would say, are you Miguel? Nigel? Manuel?
Nigel.
Miguel? Is your Miguel? And someone said, I said, just call me Mig. Mig is short. All right, great. Fine. So it stuck, MiG. But I spelled it with a capital G. If you notice, it's capital M, small I, capital G, because when I started to do my solo music stuff, I adopted the name MiG, but the small G just looked unfinished. But I used to be an airplane buff. I actually wanted to become an Air Force pilot at one stage, and I used to build these MiGs. And I was always loved the way that the MiGs were spelled with a capital M, small I, capital G, which is a small acronym for Mikoyan Gurevich, which were like the McDonnell Douglas of the Soviet Union. So MI for Mikoyan and capital G for Gurevich are two words. So I kind of adopted that. And I use that. So that's why I use it with a capital G. It's a trademark thing. I know people think it's kind of wanky, but hey, I think it's cool.
It's memorable. It sticks.
There you go.
So you're evolving into the biz. You're doing more musicals. You follow Rock of Ages is one of them.
Yes. Rock of Ages actually came about in a very strange way. Rock of Ages came out after everything else. I already moved to New York at that stage. I was already in New York, and I already had done one show on Broadway, which was Burn the Floor. But I had auditioned for Rock of Ages. I seen Rock of Ages when he was off Broadway at the New World Stages with Will Swenson playing Stacey Jacks. And I was like, oh my God, we had so much fun in that show, because you could drink also in that show. And I got to say, the Jello shots were pouring and free-flowing. We had a smash. Literally, we were smashed. But we had such a great time watching the show. It was so funny and so vibrant. I love this show. And, my God, if I can play Stacey Jacks one day, that's it. That would be your dream. When the show actually transferred onto Broadway, I had an audition. And I went all method. I dressed up Stacey Jack. The moment I woke up, I was Stacey Jacks. I put on the makeup, I put on the jeans and everything like that, and I even caught the train like that. Kind of acting like a little bit like I was wasted. And then I went to the audition, and I was from like word go, I was in character. And then I'm thinking, I nailed that, and I didn't hear a thing. I didn't even get a call back, nothing. I thought, they hate me. So anyway, fast forward to a year later when they're recasting. I thought I was going up for the part of Drew, because I thought they'd hate my Stacy. And my agent said, no, you're up for the part of Stacy again. I'm like, well, this is weird, because I already auditioned for them. So anyway, I came in with much expectation. Just came as myself. No method acting at this point. I just came as dressed normally, whatever. And I just sang my stuff, did my thing. And I didn't even get a chance to walk out of the building when my agent called and says, Mig, they're offering you the job.
Wow, that's fast.
What? That was fast. I was literally got out of the elevator when I said, Mig, you booked it. That was amazing. And I booked actually the first national tour, we toured, we opened the tour, and with Konstantin Maroulis was playing the lead, and a whole new cast. But we were yeah, so I was Stacey Jacks on that first national tour, and then they offered me to come back in